Hi, I'm Vicky, and I've decided that I'm super into the dark academia aesthetic, and I wanted to build an apartment where, well, okay, I like to imagine that this person rented out a super cheap apartment because they wanted to be able to save on rent while being able to splurge on decor pieces and maybe being in the city as opposed to someplace else. This is the 910 Medina Studios apartments in the Arts Quarter, and it ended up being 51K simoleons. And that being the lot value for a one bedroom, one bathroom apartment does sound like a lot, especially being that I just said that they want to save money. But I like to build for aesthetic value and not for something that's affordable because you know what? Life is short and you could just, play with cheats on, which is what I do. A lot of it was inspired by this YouTuber that I watch and I love, and she's not a dark academic, but she lives in my city. She lives in a high-rise home, which is for all intents and purposes a modern looking place. But she's a YouTube like costumer and does a lot of like historically accurate things. Her name is Bernadette Banner. I should have led with that. I'm sorry. And I love her work and I love her tailoring videos. Sorry, sewing videos. And I love the like little Edwardian aesthetic that she has. And it kind of inspired me to want to build an apartment like dedicated to like maybe stuff that's like kind of more antique looking. Like I could just imagine that there was maybe a flea market and the person who lives in this apartment just like went and they grabbed like super old looking like French chairs and some old sturdy wooden desk that maybe they found on like the Facebook marketplace or something like that. So yeah, so this apartment obviously has like a mix of like old looking stuff and newer items and things that are modern and things that are vintage or antique, and it does look really grand, but I feel like a lot of dark academia does look super grand and old, and obviously dark academia has its own issues with very European centric and like classist stuff, but gosh darn it, I just like the way it looks. So I wanted to build it. And here we're in the kitchen. Yeah, finally, sorry, it's finally time. Wow, it'd be great if I could speak English, but it's finally time to start speaking about what's actually happening on the screen. I went through different formulations for how I wanted this kitchen to look, and I think finally I got to a part where the kitchen is on a platform, but like a indented platform. I wish I knew the term for it. But it's lower down, so you step down into it. And I wanted a little cutout so that if you're in the kitchen, you could like look out and maybe feel like it's a little bit larger, a little bit more open. You could look out into the living area. I do have to say that when I ended up playtesting this, my God, was the kitchen a bitch to play in. The fridge didn't work. Then I couldn't get the stove to work. I don't know if it's because I always build with move objects on because again, I build for aesthetics, not for like use. I mean, who even plays The Sims anymore? I mean, obviously it's only for, building, of course. I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, so to add on to the narrative, let's pretend that the person who lives here, just like, I don't know, they just don't cook. They're, maybe a college student, they're living in the city, they're renting this cheap apartment, they've thrifted and they've saved and they decorated it however they want. Do they cook? No. They probably, I don't know, go to a lot of coffee shops and drink lattes and take study blur photos for Tumblr and I don't know, probably maybe wear a lot of dark colors and like a pea coat. I don't know their life. Sounds great though. And maybe they eat a lot of takeout. They just they just don't cook. The kitchen just looks cute for Instagram photos. I don't know. I don't judge. I just like the idea of how the kitchen is decorated. If it doesn't work, that is not my problem. I'm just here to make it look pretty. I really so badly, so badly wanted to make this work. I wanted to make it look like there was a book open in the kitchen and just propped up against something, maybe a wall or whatever. And I just heartbreakingly, I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what I felt. My heart was broken that I couldn't get it to work. But I survived because the kitchen still looks cute as hell. I skip over the bathroom in this build. No, sorry, not in this build, in this video. I did decorate the bathroom. I don't like to show bathrooms because I don't care about bathrooms. It's very small, plus it'll be in like a screenshot later. I forgot that in this space I wanted to use one of the older vanities, but then just size-wise I couldn't get it to fit, and then just decided to just make a vanity of my own. Yeah, here I was just trying to match the wood to the one in the bed, so I just like grab it and mush it in the middle, see if I can find a matching color. But if we are going by the pretend idea that it's thrifted, I guess in the end it doesn't really matter if the wood tones match, right? Plus I realize a matching bedroom set is probably a very not modern thing to do anymore. You know, growing up, I wanted to be an adult who had like a matching bedroom set, dresser, side tables, bed, you know, that type of thing. But, you know, IKEA, no, not IKEA, let me not blame IKEA. Not fashion magazines, interior design magazines will have you believe like it's more quirky to just have everything be mismatched. And honestly, I do kind of like it, so I'm fine with that. And I kind of just like skipped over the fact that I made my own little vanity, and I'm so proud of how it came out. I think it looks very cute. It is CC. I love CC, and I love building with CC. I do love the items that come in game, but they're the items that came in game. They're not always great. Because this was a dark academia build, I really so badly wanted to use like old European looking art, but I don't like things that are not max match, and I don't know why I still have that in my mods folder, but I ended up going for just something with an old looking frame, if you will. Sometimes I tend to actually most of the time I tend to shy away from over cluttering a build because despite having a pretty decent computer, I'm used to playing with, I don't know why, but like I'm always under the impression that if I put in too much, my computer's gonna crash. So I don't put in as much clutter as I could. And for this build, I really wanted to go with a maximalist look. So, and you know, that's not really my style in real life, and I get really overwhelmed with a lot of clutter. But I wanted things to look, you know, intentional, but really piled up and, you know, still have everything be cherished, but I just wanted a lot, which it becomes a lot more visible later. At this point, I'm like switching things out because I realized some of the items did look a little too high class, I guess. Not high class, I don't know. It looked really expensive, and I didn't want everything to look super expensive. I just wanted it to look nice. I don't know. I just wanted it to look good. I say I don't want it to look super expensive, and then I go with like a leather couch, but let's just pretend that that was like found on the side of a road somewhere. In The Sims, there aren't germs, so we could just do that, you know, pick up couches from the side of the road. Oh, I was also very particular about a color palette that I wanted to do. I did want to do a lot of neutrals? Shit, did I say this already? I don't know. But yeah, green's my favorite color. Went for a green wall. Wanted a lot of browns, tans, maybe a deep red. I don't know. So despite it, you know, it being maximalist and like really cluttered, I think keeping things in maybe a similar palette did help make it look less overwhelming, or I don't know, just brings everything to be more cohesive and easy on the eyes. At this point, I was quite excited because I was able to make I don't know what that is, the vampire pack thing? That stand? Some swatches of it has like a bulb of an onion, and then some swatches of it have a heart. I imagine that it's like a stand, like either a music stand. I don't understand the diagrams on it, but I imagine it's either a music stand or like if you went to a large fancy library and they had a book stand in front and you can have a book propped open in front of it. I do just love the way it looks, and I will find any excuse to use it in a build as long as it fits the aesthetic, which I feel like it does here. And I'm trying to make a gallery wall, sort of, over here, and I end up just relocating everything to the hallway where the bathroom door and the entryway is. I feel like it could be appreciated more on that blank wall. And I know I'm like jumping from room to room. When I actually decorate rooms, I kind of, which apparently might be strange, I kind of go in order of the tabs that are at the bottom. So I always start by decorating the kitchen, then the bathroom, then the bedrooms, and then the living room, I guess, and then dining room, study, kids room. I don't know what order it is. I just go by like whatever's down there, and that's just how I've always done it. But when I find something that I missed for a different room or that I want for a different room, I just like pull it out of the catalog and just dump it there and then get to it when I get to it, you know? This is CC2 obviously, but I thought it'd be very neat for these huge, extremely tall, possibly dangerous bookcases to have a little ladder so you can climb up. And here, I'm sure in real life a desk this solid would probably be bank, but again, I'd like to imagine it was thrifted or maybe a hand-me-down. and whoever lives here just piled all their things on top of it. Maybe their favorite books, their plants that they like to look at when they're doing work. Yeah, the laptop is just decor CC, but I did really want this to be like a no TV household, and it's just like, oh, they just sit down and watch, I don't know, Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, propped up on what is actually a pile of towels, but we're just gonna pretend it's a throw blanket. A lot of this CC is from Harry and I think maybe Felix Andre. I love their stuff that they do. The kitchen pack, the bathroom pack, Jardin. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think probably a lot of these plants are from their CC packs. I kind of hate that this apartment has only like one very strangely placed window in the kitchen. But I mean, obviously in real life there's probably kitchens that have like very poor ventilation, so it would be realistic of living in the city to have shitty window placement. It is what it is, you know. For this apartment, I specifically wanted like a few things, which is like obviously the textures of, I don't know, like exposed brick and cement and stuff, but I wanted things like feathers, maybe bugs, old Europeanish looking art, a lot of wood, not a lot of wood tones, but like a lot of wood furniture. I did want a lot of plants. I wanted old carpets, and I specifically wanted like kind of busted looking old carpets. I hate like reusing things, like using the same item in just different swatches, but like it just works so well. I wanted like maybe statues or busts of things. Older looking mirrors, maybe with the gold framing around them, which I think I got plenty of in here. Lots of books, of course, candles. I basically achieved the aesthetic that I wanted to achieve with this apartment, and I'm really proud of how it came out, and I think it's like absolutely stunning. And even though I'm not a huge maximalist in real life, I think it'd be super dope to live here. It just looks quaint. Not quaint, it looks cool. It does. Here I'm creating a bar. That bar cart is CC from Ravasheen, and I love their work as well. It's so good. I think having a bar cart in an apartment is also like a very nice modern way of like showing off alcohol? Question mark? Sorry, I don't drink. It's a good way of showing like stuff off, and like obviously extra storage. You always need extra storage when you live in the city. Or anywhere, I guess. Who doesn't like a place to put their things? I also forgot that there was a antique typewriter in the game, and then when I remembered, I like was so thrilled and I didn't know where to put it, so I just ended up going in the bedroom. Same with the antique camera, forgot it exists, ended up putting it in the bedroom because that was like the only space I could find. And I think I'm pretty much done. I hope you like watching this as much as I loved looking at this build. Not to toot my own horn, but I think it came out pretty well. Anyway, here are the screenshots.